We should let me share my screen and then we, ladies and gents, can get straight into it. So, first things first. So, structure of this call is going to be number one. I'll break down the UK 100 trade that I took on Thursday and a delicious back test from Friday. I didn't catch it personally. I don't know if anyone else caught it. It was at 5:31 p.m. on Friday, which was very, very juicy. But yeah, it's just a shame that it was a back test for me. But let's get into it. So let me just little bit of too much information, but I just finished eating some chicken and I've got like a bit of, when you get a piece of chicken like stuck right in a piece of, anyway, man, we move. But all right, cool. So let me just put this over here. We go over to UK 100, UK. Actually, do you know what? Let me just go on my thing over here. There we go. Yeah, UK 100. So there was actually two decent entries. The second one, I would admit, was probably the better one, like the one on Friday, even though it was a little bit late. So, like, I had a good day on Thursday. Well, TP actually hit on Friday, so I was practically all right. I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me just leave it as it is. But had I seen it, I probably would have taken it with just less risk or something. But so, all right, cool. So let's just step out for a minute onto the intraday time frame. And I'll break down what my thought process was, right? So. Well, first of all, let me just rewind back to where the actual entry was. That'll make a bit more sense. It was actually this entry here. This one was the one that I ended up taking the loss on before the actual entry. So let me just move this over here. Was 607. So that was the first entry. Cool. So right. So my thought process was as follows. Right, so go to entry. Try about that. Okay, cool. So stepping out to the intraday time frame, what I was looking at, obviously, as we all know, UK 100 been pretty damn bullish for for a little while. And what strategy do I trade? We trade Wyckoff, my bro. So I'm guessing you were someone that wasn't that I'm not working with directly or someone that Kieran's not working with. So essentially we trade Wyckoff. Wyckoff is just the study and the approach towards the market of understanding institutional order fulfillment. So understanding what it looks like when institutions fill orders within the markets, right? And you want to make sure that you understand what it looks like when the institutions fill their orders. Because the best way for me to put it is like this, right? Imagine you're in the Arctic and you've got, snow all over the place and whatever, and you're walking, and you see a massive ass footprint. You're going to be like, shit, there's some sort of bear around. Why? Because it's undeniable, and no one's foot is that big. Do you see what I'm saying? Unless they've got gout or something, right? But I'm joking. But yeah, you guys get the point, right? So when you see that, you're like, okay, cool, there's something bigger here. And if you can identify that, then you can obviously, okay, there's something bigger here. Same way when you understand what it looks like when the institutions fill their orders and you can see that and identify it over and over again, when you're looking at points of interest or areas where you're looking to get into trade, you can start to say, hold on a minute, I've seen this before, and this is what it looks like when institutions are getting in. Okay, I can see that buyers are coming in or sellers are coming in, and you can execute based off of that. When you understand exactly what that looks like, obviously you can set a plan around it, or you can work with myself or someone else that, understands Wyckoff or whatever strategy it is that you want to trade. Obviously, we trade Wyckoff because the precision is delicious, right? So a long answer to a short question, but let me not digress any further. So as we've all been aware of, obviously UK 100 has been bullish for a little while. Why do we know that? Well, because if you just simply look at the chart, we can see we've been reaccumulating and reaccumulating and reaccumulating, and up until this week, UK 100 has been annoying me because it's just like it's moving, it's rocketing, but it's not giving any entries. So obviously we've been bullish, reaccumulating, so on and so forth, right? So on Thursday, we ended up having a another we had a reaccumulation, at which point I was waiting for for price to potentially come to the 50%. Price kept going higher, and obviously created this high. Price distributed and started making its way lower. So down here, I was like, okay, cool. I want to see. Like, I'm just going to keep an eye on what happens and see if, we start to see evidence of buyers start to come in, right? In the form of, well, an accumulation and a reaccumulation. Why did I not just want to wait for just one accumulation? Can anyone tell me the answer? 10 points to the first answer. 10 points to the first. There we go. No POI, right? So there was no point of interest. So I was like, okay, cool. If I can see an accumulation and reaccumulation start to present itself, then I'll start to have a look at taking some bias potentially. So as we came down to the, I think it was the 1 minute, if I'm not mistaken, could just redistro. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could just redistro and that'd be the end of it, right? So for me, I started to see price accumulate down here. So obviously I saw one drive, two drives, three drives, final manipulation. No, sorry, I lied. One drive, two drives, three drives, four drives, then the final manipulation. Then obviously price made its way higher. So I was like, okay, cool. We had an accumulation on our hands. Then I started to see that price started to print this very ugly reaccumulation. And obviously, price ended up reaccumulating again. At which point I was like, okay, cool. Price obviously came in here. I didn't really see what I wanted to see. So I was like, okay, cool, leave it alone. And then from there, I was like, all right, cool. Let me wait and see if, obviously this point would have been, what's the word? Would have been maintaining my structure, because it's accumulations that maintain the structure, not your reaccumulations. So I said to myself, okay, cool. We've ended up breaking this. Let's see. We break this low, then obviously it's a redistro, and obviously there's no buys on the table. Great. So from that point, I started to see price accumulate, and this here was a pretty damn clean accumulation. And obviously, as I stepped down into I said the 30-second, might be a bit clearer for you guys to see. So as we started to make our way lower, I started to notice we started accumulating, right? Where we had, retracement, small retracement, and we had a larger retracement. So if I just get my measuring tool out, just come over here, we can see we had what 7.9 points, and then obviously this retracement after that was 10 points basically, right? So obviously we had a larger um retracement than my previous retracement. So I was like, okay, cool, wicked. So I've got my trading range in here. Obviously, we had one, two, three, four, five drives. Then we had that final manipulation. Then we had the break, and obviously, started making our way higher. So at this point, I was like, all right, great, And on top of that, we also saw a lot of volume, saw a pretty decent was yeah, well, volume was nice. Volume was very nice. So we started to see not just spikes as we started to print larger, those larger retracements, started to see, larger retracements, larger retracements, larger retracements, so on and so forth. But in the spring, we also saw that nice volume as well, which is a pretty delicious volume spike as well. So that told me, okay, great. Like we potentially have got some buyers. Yeah, it was delicious, bro. I can't lie to you. So from that point, I was like, all right, cool. We ended up accumulating and then breaking this previous reaccumulation um, that took place before price started accumulating. So I was like, okay, cool. We had an accumulation, was strong enough, and had enough. It took a lot of. It spent. How long did it spend down here? From that time to when it broke, what 39 minutes. All right. So it spent a good amount of time, more time than it took to build out this redistribution as well, which I liked. And then obviously we ended up breaking it. So at this point, I was like, all right, cool. We've had the volume, we've had the break. I'm gonna potentially look to play the reaccumulation. To which point I saw obviously we, distributed, made our way lower, gave a little shakeout, and obviously ended up making its way higher. To which point, obviously, I entered off the 50. And unfortunately, well, not for unfortunately at all, because again, like it doesn't to me, I don't care about whether I lose a trade or not. I'm not afraid to lose a trade. I'm not fussed about. I'm not tripping on that. What I want to make sure of at all times is, am I following my plan? So we had the reaccumulation, and obviously, I ended up entering off of it, and I ended up taking a loss. Fine. So for me, that wasn't too crazy. Now we ended up coming back into the 50% of the accumulation that broke the previous redistro. So to me, I was like, all right, cool. I had what I naturally lowered my risk anyway because number one, we hadn't broken this high, and number two, it was just like, okay, cool. Like we could come a lot lower. If I just come back to the 15-minute for a minute, we could come down to the reload of the previous reaccumulation or the 50% of the previous reaccumulation. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna lower my risk naturally anyway. So I ended up lowering my risk and took the first loss, and then obviously ended up entering off the 50%. So if I just come back to the second so you can see a little bit clearer now. We came into entry and obviously started to make his way higher. At which point, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Boom. Obviously, I've gone, reduce risk. Why? Because obviously we've now, built out a previous, a reaccumulation. So we have risk on both entries. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. No, actually, tell a lie. I was like quarter risk on, yeah, quarter risk on both entries. Quarter risk on both entries. It wasn't half. Um, and it was natural. It was just quarter risk just because it was like, okay, cool. Like it right now, the way things are, I was like, yeah, I'll just naturally dialing down my risk until fundamentals are a lot clearer across the board. I was just like, yeah, you know what? Let me just stick with my quarter risk. Quarter risk on a 200K funded. It's not too shabby, and on my personal as well. I took it across both, so it was pretty delicious. But at that point, obviously, we ended up breaking, so I've gone reduce risk, and then, obviously, well, let me not bore you guys with watching paint dry. If I just step back out, obviously we ended up not coming back. And then if I just drag this thing out, we ended up coming to the high. So obviously that gave me a 128. It's pretty delicious. Nothing much else to report. Did it follow the plan? Yes. Did I reduce my risk? Yes. And yeah, I was pretty happy with that, to be honest. So I'm not happy, but you guys know what I mean. I was like, okay, cool, good. Take one loss, made it back, and then some, no problem. Do you know what I mean? So that was the first entry. Now the second one on Friday is even naughtier, right? So by the way, has anyone got any questions on that breakdown? Pretty simple, no? How come you didn't wait for the break or the high? Yeah, yeah, that is why. That is why. Oh, yeah, I would have preferred to see the break with the high, the 1,000,000%, bro. But because we ended up breaking that previous redistribution, the one that I was just showing you earlier, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm happy. I'm happy with that break, and I'm also going to reduce my risk. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me just go with that. And then obviously from there, it was what's it called? Can you send the link of that UK? Yeah, 100%. What I can do, what I can do is I can actually, do you know what, bro? Even better, what I'll do you one better. Send me a message on Telegram because I'm gonna document this tonight. I won't lie to you, I'm lacking. I was meant to do my documentation on Friday, but I'm gonna do it tonight, and then I'll send you I'm gonna do like obviously a case study on it. Then I can just send you that if you want. Would that be a bit more suitable for you, bro? Yeah, nice. Yeah, got you, my bro. It's probably better than just having one screenshot in it. So yeah, I'll get that over to you, my bro. Yeah, just remind me, just send me a message on Telegram and I'll sort it out for you, my bro. But yeah, the second entry, the one on Friday, which I didn't take, was just again pretty damn simple, right? So obviously we ended up taking this high. I wasn't aiming for I wanted to see what the risk to reward was to the 1.272, the fib extension. But I didn't end up holding to it. I was happy with the profit and I was like, cool, let me just see how I was just happy with it, I'll be honest. Like for me, I've noticed that when I'm more aggressive with my profit taken, my account thanks me for it over time. Do you know what I mean? So more time when price takes the high, rather than holding some volume and waiting for the fib extension. More time, I'll be honest, I just get out with my profit and live to trade another day. So and my birthday's on Friday as well, like next Friday. So obviously, yeah, we're gonna we're gonna enjoy, So I thought, yeah, let me close out, make a little withdrawal, and we can call it there. So obviously the next entry, bro, who is this messaging me, bro? Oh, never mind. It's Amazon. I've got a little delivery on its way, but I don't think it's coming. I think it's coming between like 9 and 11 or something like that. Um, but yeah, obviously price ended up breaking this high. And then from here, right, we obviously on the lower time frame ended up giving like a very ugly distribution up here. Started making its way lower, right? And then we didn't quite come into the reload. We did come into it, but not into the 50 of it, right? 50 would have been here, but we did actually come into the reload of it. Now, when we did come into the reload, now if I just come down to the 1 minute, see this thing a little clearer. When we did come into the reload, I was like, okay, cool. I want to see price can accumulate, and obviously we'll see kind of see what happens, right? Instead, we did give a very ugly accumulation down here. I'll just zoom in a little. It wasn't valid because obviously, yes, we had our larger retracement, then our previous retracement. Maybe if I go into the 30-second a little bit cleaner. There we go. So we had our previous retracement, then our larger retracement, second drive. So you had your first drive, second drive, then the manipulation, then obviously price went. And how many drives minimum do we need to see in order to say the accumulation is valid? 10 points to the first answer. Whoosh, there we go. Three, right? So now, obviously, it's not valid. Great. But what we did do was we ended up breaking order flow. This tiny little distro, if you will, up here. So we ended up breaking order flow. And on top of that, we ended up breaking the high as well. So for me, I was just like, all right, cool, sick. So now we've got a new reaccumulation on our hands. And at that point, we've obviously have now gotten rid of all of this in here. I don't care about any of this anymore. I can even get rid of this as well, to be honest. Um, and obviously, at which point, obviously, I fibbed out from down here to up here, right? Got your 50, got your 80. Pretty damn simple, right? And obviously, well, I was on the minutes when I was looking at this reaccumulation. So price broke the high, came back into the 50 and 80, and this is where it gets juicy, right? So if I come down to I think it was on a 5 second, it was the cleanest, right? We're coming to the 50 and 80, and down here, right? Literally, like pretty deep into the 80%. I think it was on the 5 second. It was the cleanest. There we go. Cool. So if I just zoom into this, what we can see as we came into the 80, what did we do? We had our previous retracement, then we had a larger retracement, right? Now, again, how do I know it was larger? Um, how did I know that this was larger than the previous retracement? You simply just measure it out. 51 points, well, 5.1 points, should I say? And obviously 6.2 points. We both know, or we all know that 6.2 is bigger than 5.1. So what does that mean? We've got a larger retracement on our hands. Now, we had our first drag, which is obviously my change of character. So I've dragged my, what is this, parallel channel, obviously across from up here, obviously to down here. I'd use the parallel channel instead of the fib, just easier to me. So obviously we've got one minute, well, not one manipulation, one drive rather. We've got our second drive, which was from the 50 to the high, our third drive from the low to the 50, fourth drive from the low to the 50 as well, higher than the 50. And obviously we had our final manipulation down here, right? So let me just zoom in a little more. We had that manipulation. Now we've got not one manipulation, we've actually got one manipulation, two manipulations. What type of schematic is this? Type 1 or type 2? 10 points to the first answer. Whoosh, type 1. Why is it type 1? Because we've got two manipulations. So because we've got two manipulations, or because we have two manipulations, I don't need to wait for this to be broken. I can wait for this to be broken. And what did price do? Ended up breaking the high. If I just hover over it, we can see obviously price broke the high. And then at which point, I'm obviously fibbing out from down here to obviously up here. You got your 50, you got your 80. If I was looking at this and I saw this, I won't lie to you and say I would have taken off the 80 and I wouldn't have offset the risk because the risk to reward is pretty damn juicy. Can you send the trade breakdown when you've done it in the MOC chat, please? Yeah, 100. Yeah, I got you, my bro. I got you. Definitely. Definitely, my bro. I got you. Um, so yeah, obviously we ended up breaking. I've actually got the documentation for this one already because I was recording a training for the guys in the bread room. And imagine, right? It took me 43 minutes to film it all. I screen recorded it on OBS for those of you that have a MacBook. So I'd already done all of this, and then I finished doing it. I went to stop the recording, laptop crashed out. 43 minutes of gold dissipated between my fingers. I was so upset. This is Friday night. And obviously, you know how the saying goes, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. So I laughed, closed my laptop, and yeah, just what's it called? If you have a type one, don't you have to fib all of the schematic? Nah, bro. So when you've got your type one, yeah, so you've got your, first, let's say you got your previous retracement, and this is larger, right? So you obviously drag this out. If you've got a type one has got two manipulations, right? So let's say, for example, you've got, one manipulation and then you've got a second manipulation. Technically, I don't need to wait for this to break. I can wait for this to break. Does that make sense? So obviously, when we do break this, even though we haven't broken this up here, if price comes back into the 50 and 80, I can still take this trade. Does that make sense, my bro? Yeah, something new. Yeah. So yeah, bro. Um, so yeah, in this case, obviously I wouldn't have had to wait for the high to get broken, right? So we ended up breaking up here, came back into, I just dragged this out a little so you can see it a bit clearer. What was the price on the 50? And naturally you would have obviously put it 1 point above as well if you're doing a buy limit or if you're market executing, then you can go straight up to 50 if you want to. So what, 669? There we go. Cool. So obviously I would have had my entry at the 50. I probably wouldn't have offset the risk between 50 and 80 because the risk to reward on this was juicy enough, which you'll see shortly. But yeah, obviously stop loss goes below the low, and then obviously the rest was history, right? So we broke the high, came back into the 50, and then yeah, man, this thing just rocketed, bro. The overall target would have been a 1 to 23, currently sitting at a 1 to 15.09, you know? So yeah, it was pretty, yeah, bro, I can't lie to you. When I saw this, I was like, ah, nasty. Um, Hold on. There has to be three drives first, or is it the third drive can be a manipulation? Hold on. Yeah, the third drive can be manipulation. So like if you've got something like, small retracement, and then you've got one, two, let's say this is your third drive, and then you've got that afterwards, then technically this will be classed as one of my manipulations because it's obviously manipulated these two are. So at which point I can wait for this to get broken. Does that make sense, my bro? Um, Hold on. I always get confused. Yeah. Got you, my bro. Got you. Hold on. But yeah. It's like that. All right. Yeah, bro. Can't lie to you. Yeah, I was burnt, bro. When I was back testing, I was like, bro, what has he done? How dare I miss something like that? But yeah, do you ever trade futures, bro? I'm not interested because I've got because of not. Yeah, do you know what, bro? Yeah, I can't lie. The no overnight holding is a little bit annoying to me. I wouldn't not trade futures. It's just like, do you know what it is? Yeah, I'll be honest, bro. Like, I kind of just been stuck in my ways. Like, I'm a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I've been trading kind of similarly for quite a while, and for me, it's like if it's not broken, don't fix it. That's kind of where my mind is at. So I'm just like, later maybe. Do you know what I mean? You know, when something's working, and it's just like I'll just kind of stick with what I've got for now, and obviously down the line, I can obviously progress further and do whatever else. But right now, I feel when you're in a pocket and it's just like, yeah, I'm here right now, and it's working. I like it. I like the results I'm getting. Let me just lean into it rather than trying to do something else. That's kind of where my mind is at. So yeah, that's the only reason why I haven't really started looking at futures too tough. But yeah, I've had a bag of people telling me that I should get on futures, but I don't know, man. I just kind of just been using what I know, you know. But has anyone got any questions on the back test, by the way? Yeah, pretty damn clean, no? What I'll do actually, I think I've got the here we go. I can put let me see if I can put this in the chat now. Don't know if it will let me. So you guys can save it. Or worst case, I can just send it to you guys in yeah, no, it doesn't let me. That's fine. Admin restrictions. I don't know why I keep doing that. Every time like I try to add some stuff in here, it just doesn't let me do it. Um, and I'm not gonna try and do it right now. So yeah, just someone remind me, and I'll put it in the group for you guys. Yeah. But yeah, anyone got any questions? Anyone got any concerns? Anything not make sense? Anything you guys want to break down even further? If so, boys and girls, let me know. If not, then we can get into the market outlook side of things. Give you guys 10 seconds. And if you have, then yeah, now is the time, ladies and gents. In the meantime, let me get a sip of water. Mm-mm-mm. What about you guys? Do you guys catch anything this week? Um, Also not a big fan of the trading drawdown with the futures. Yeah, takes a bit of energy. Yeah, bro, that's annoying as well, man. I can't lie. I think Kieran had a short on down Friday. Yeah, but I'm not too sure. For me, I think because I would have been looking for sells on US indices as well. I don't know. It wasn't really looking that clean to me. And obviously, where I already caught UK 100, I was like, you know what? Like, just yeah. you know. So yeah, obviously I know Kieran's going to be hosting on Tuesday, so I'm interested to see where his entry would have been. I didn't see anything clean on my side, but yeah, I'll definitely be tuning in to see how how Kieran was looking at it. But yeah, um, yeah, that was the only trade that I caught this week. If I'm being honest, UK 100, there wasn't really much else too clean. I had my eyes on GU earlier in the week as well, but it just didn't end up giving me what I wanted to see. So yeah. I back tested. There was something, but I wasn't correlating with the other assets. It was weird. Yeah, bro. Like for me, if it's not super clean, I'm just like, yeah, I'll just leave it alone. I'll be honest. Like, because I my data tells me when I try to trade something that's not like one hundo, I'm like, yeah, nah. I just get spanked, bro. So I'm just like, you know what? Let me learn from my lessons and just focus on what I know, and that usually gives me a better result than anything else. So yeah, man. Yeah, and you guys know me, like I keep things very simple. So if it's not simple, I don't know. Yeah, just veer away from it. But yeah, all right, cool. So let's talk about this week, shall we? So fundamentally, and obviously I've got a little document there as well, as you guys know I love to do. So what key data happened this week? Obviously, we had FOMC. I hope you guys did your homework. Did you guys do your research as to what happened with FOMC? If so, good. If not, don't do that again. But what's it called? Even if you didn't, it's fine. I'm gonna run through it as well. And I think Kira might have spoke on it as well, but I'm gonna go through some stuff that I gathered. But yeah, unemployment claims we had came out lower from 229K to 206, which means obviously more people in the workforce, which means obviously, it's better for the dollar, which could give some strength to the dollar. GDP came lower as well. It's not really directional bias setting, but obviously it is data that can mean a lot moving forward. But obviously I can only deal with the data that I've got right now, right? So we also had a PCE, which is obviously the main thing. So let's talk about it. And I also heard something about Donald Trump like threatening like another 10% on top of the tariffs or something like that. I haven't done my full research into it, so I'm not going to bring it to you guys just like half-heartedly. But I don't know if anyone else heard anything about that. But if so, then yeah, please feel free to enlighten me because I haven't done my full research on that yet. But let me show you guys the document that I've got on here in regards to what I was looking at this week. So obviously FOMC wise, what I gathered from it was that obviously most of the Federal Reserve members want to see inflation come lower before backing more interest rate cuts. And obviously just the fact that we've seen PCE, hike up a little. Yes, we did see CPI come lower, but obviously PPI is still, relatively high. So in respective to previous readings. So for me, it's just like, okay, it makes sense as to why obviously we didn't get a interest rate cut the last reading. And that in itself tells us quite a bit because they were cutting rates because obviously the labor market was getting its cheeks clapped over there, right? So for me, I was like, okay, cool. It makes sense as to why they were cutting the rates. And obviously we started to see some data that showed that the labor market is strengthening and obviously inflation is obviously starting to become sticky. Now all of a sudden they don't want to cut the rates no more. What does that mean? Do you know what I mean? So for me, it means that we could potentially see some strength coming into the dollar, not just because of inflation, but also because of the fact that, damn it, when you have something in your mind and it goes, um, damn it, that is so annoying. But obviously inflation being the one thing, and there was something else I was just about to say. It will come back to me. But yeah, that's it. Because obviously from an anticipatory if that's even a word, standpoint, it's like people are seeing that, okay, they're cutting the rates. Why all of a sudden are they now keeping it the same after the labor market is strengthening and after the inflation data is starting to warm up a little? That's peculiar. So now people are starting to think, okay, cool, maybe they might keep the rates at this point for longer, And even in this last FOMC meeting, one thing I also gathered as well is that some officials were even saying that, if we continue seeing this trend in inflation, continuing to bubble up a little, we might even, see some rate hikes instead of cuts, Some officials said that further cuts would be appropriate if inflation continues to drop, which obviously makes sense because lower inflation means they don't need to keep the rates as high anymore, which means they would most likely start to bring it lower. But we're just not at that point at the moment. Um, and then obviously, yeah, some other Fed officials preferred holding rates unchanged for a while. And what I'm starting to see now is that there's internal whispers. There's an internal, what's the word? Collision, if you will, inside the Fed, which is also, another reason for us to kind of think, okay, maybe we're starting to see some reasons for us to be a bit more bullish on the dollar because rewind 2 months ago, there was no internal. Do you know what I mean? Most of the people were, most of the Fed officials were on cutting the rates, and obviously now we're not seeing that anymore. So, in summary, anyway, the Fed is in no rush to cut the rates and wants clearer evidence that inflation is approaching the 2% target before acting again. And obviously, we're going to get into the PCE stuff as well. So inflation currently, PPI year over year is the same as the previous reading. Month over month is higher across core and standard PPI, not PSI. This is not flipping, what's it called? A car tire, right? But yeah, obviously PCE year over year is up as of Friday. What's Friday, isn't it? Or Thursday? Friday. Um, 3% up from 2.8%. And obviously month over month was up 0.4% up from obviously 0.2%. So PCE is warming up, ladies and gents. And PCE is obviously the Fed's um their most preferred measure of inflation because it shows them okay what are people actually spending money on, So I think someone's got a question. Hi, Nick. Sorry I'm late. Trump up tariffs to 15% for all countries from 10% he added on Saturday. Okay, cool, perfect. So I mean, if that is the case, then obviously, it means that it's another reason why CPI can obviously potentially start to make its way higher. Why? Because obviously when we see tariffs go up, naturally, when companies in the US are getting products from out of the country, they're having to pay more money. And more money being spent means what? Higher inflation. So that could be another reason why we see inflation continue on this upwards trend, which would mean the dollar will most likely continue on its upwards trend unless we start to see, inflation start to cool off, which right now I don't know. Don't know if it's on the cards, ladies and gents, So I do think we will be seeing lower indices this year. Obviously, we're going to be seeing lower cryptos this year. And I think we potentially could see lower EU and GU this year as well. So let's see, man. Obviously, we'll get into the technical shortly as well. But PCE. So obviously, headline PCE month over month rose from 0.4 to 0.2%. And obviously, PC year over year rose from 2.8 to 2.9%. Now, core year over year rose to 3% from 2.8%. And core PCE month over month obviously also rose from 0.4 to 0.2, right? So obviously, you guys probably thinking, hold on a minute, what's the difference between headline PCE and core PCE? Well, core PCE is a more accurate, not more accurate, a less volatile reading because your headline PCE is usually it's going to include, your food and energy, which are the most volatile you know, measures of inflation inside of the PCE. So if that's the case, you're going to get more of a volatile sort of reading, right? Because you've got more volatile things inside of those readings, if that makes sense. Now, core removes food and removes energy. So you get more of a stable reading. Does that make sense to everybody? So obviously, core PCE is the one that I'm more like sort of concerned with. And even if I wasn't at this reading, everything's kind of climbing up. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like so would you say it's better to pay more attention? Yeah, yeah. For me, yeah. Like I'm what's it called? I'm more focused on core. Not to disregard headline, but more, yeah, 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 definitely. That I would say so anyway. Supreme Court ruled most tariffs illegal. Trump's response, more tariffs lower. Bro, Trump is a flipping savage, bro. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, large up. Well, I was about to say large up Donald Trump. I mean, some things what's it called? I agree with, but other things, but you ain't gonna agree with everybody. Shaq raised his hand. Talk to me, my bro. By the way, feel free to unmute yourself. If you've got a question, my bro.
Bro, not to go into all of like these Epstein files, yeah,
Mm,
but you see, with all the speculation around Donald Trump, would that affect
yeah.
the dollar?
Um,
Or is that something aside, like his personal life is different to his political life in terms of the dollar itself?
Yeah, so for me, I wouldn't think that, personal stuff between, well, with what's going on with Donald Trump, I don't think that will affect the dollar so much. Obviously, like, there is some times where he might tweet something out that might give a clue as to, okay, cool, shit, like maybe we might be seeing some sort of change with the economy. Like, for example, what month was it when he spoke about or when he had that little situation with China? Obviously that caused indices to obviously come lower, right? But in terms of your personal life, I don't think that's like I don't pay attention to it because it's not going to be directional, bias setting. The things that are going to be are going to be things like inflation, are going to be things like interest rates, are going to be things like, the labor market, things like, what happens with tariffs and stuff like that. But in terms of his personal life, I don't think it will. It usually won't. To me, it won't. What's it called? It won't really give me that much reason to say, oh my God, Donald Trump got caught, um, with his pants down outside of his house cheating on his wife, for example. Do you know what I mean? Like that won't really affect anything. I know that's a crazy example, but you guys get the point. Yeah, and again, all that news is just a distraction. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, as soon as I started hearing about, the Epstein files, I don't want to. Yeah, do you get it? Obviously, we're on Zoom, and I know, do you get it? Yeah, but yeah, I'm immediately when I'm starting hearing about this, I'm doing my research. I haven't did a, I don't know if I think some of you, a couple of you guys might have even commented on it, but I started thinking, okay, shit, what are they trying to distract me from here? Do you know what I mean? When you see news up here, there's usually something else going on down here. Do you get what I'm saying? So I always want to be more attentive to what's going on. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all nonsense. Yeah, like, yeah, just exactly to take your eyes off something bigger. So for me, obviously, like us, all of us in here, we are aware. And if we're not, then I'm making you aware now. And Kieran does a great job in also doing the same thing and making you guys aware that news is the excuse, bro. When there's big news happening up here, something, something is happening. So it's down to us to start researching these things. Do you get where I'm coming from? So I know it's a long answer to your question, my bro, but Shaq, does that make sense though? Yeah. Let me
Yeah,
know.
yeah. That makes sense, bro.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect, my bro. Um, so yeah, so in terms of if I was being around for time, why now? Exactly, bro. You know what I mean? Same thing is like again, and this is the last thing I'm gonna quickly talk on. Is that same thing with Diddy, bro? Do you know what I mean? When there was that video circulating of him beating that blowing Cassie to smithereens. Do you get what I'm saying? Pulling her around or whatever. That shit was there for time, bro. So why was it now all of a sudden? Oh, hold on a minute. We've got some new data, guys, that from like 200 years ago. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, bro, when was he with Cassie? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Yes. All right, wait, what, who said that though? She's Leng. Who said that though? Who said that? Yeah, man, like Jeff. Do you know what I mean? Neither agree or disagree, my friends. Yeah, who's Cassie? I don't even know that. I've never heard that name before. But what's it called? What am I saying? Yeah. So in terms of obviously PCE, PCE is obviously again the Fed's preferred measure of inflation, and that's gone up. So for me, does it make sense for me to be looking for buyers on indices still? Probably not. I want to be more aggressive on the sell side of anything. So just summarizing on PCE, the higher PCE keeps inflation above the 2% target, signaling that inflation is still sticky. So, question for you guys regarding, well, considering the fact that obviously PC has obviously gone up, do you think they're going to be as quick to, to cut the rates now that we've had this new data come out? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? No, no. Yeah, dropping. Someone said dropping aliens. Yeah, do you know what? It's interesting as well. Because like, yeah, I saw something about that, and I was like, bro, what? Said something. Mr. Obama was talking about something. I don't even know, man. It's crazy. Um, so consumer spending and income growth remain positive. Oh yeah, so consumer spending, income growth remain positive, meaning obviously just more, consumers are spending more. Obviously, this is in regards to December's data. So obviously, when the next one comes out, then obviously we'll have new data to respond to. But yeah, contributing to price increases, which obviously is inflation, right? So obviously, last but not least, unemployment claims we just spoke about. Obviously, more people are in the workforce, meaning obviously more people have jobs, which means more people have money, which means more people want to spend money, which could also contribute to higher spending, i.e., higher, obviously, which will lead to obviously higher inflation, right? So does that make sense to everybody? Let me know. If so, then obviously we can continue. Um, so next week we've got hold on. No cut, jobless strong, inflate. Yeah. You guys are right. I don't think there's gonna be any cuts. And even if we look at obviously I'll show you guys in a minute, but what's going on with the yields? They're going up. What do you think that means? Say the last bit again, just the last bit. Yeah, so I was saying about the um, unemployment claims. So unemployment claims came down to 206 from 229, right? Which was obviously on Friday as well, if I'm not mistaken. Um, was it Friday? Uh, Friday. No, it wasn't. I think it was Thursday. Unemployment claims. Yeah, unemployment claims came out obviously lower. So when less people are claiming unemployment, it's because obviously people are obviously obviously the labor market strengthening up, right? So more people are getting jobs. So more people have jobs, more people can have money. More people have money, more people are going to spend money. And more people spend money, more money spent contributes to more inflation. So we just look at what's going on with inflation already, plus the whole Trump's tariffs thing, plus the fact that labor market strengthening, and we've got this data come up. It's all pointing towards more, higher inflation moving forward. And once we see that start to come into fruition more, because right now, the only thing that's not up right now was CPI. PPI has been increasing. Obviously, the last reading was stayed the same year over year anyway, but the month over months weren't. And obviously now PCs come up. So once we start to see, okay, CPI is going up as well, maybe in the next reading, and we start to see consistency with that narrative, bro, yeah, we're gonna see some juicy ass moves, bro. Indices, I'm gonna be selling them to hell, bro. You dumb. It's gonna be, yeah, bro. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? If you guys see me booking a few more trips, then you guys know what that means already. Do you get it? But what's it called? CPI down only because of oil prices and other things. Yeah, so it was energy prices. Yeah, energy prices came lower. But everything else was kind of either going high, like climbed up a little, or was steady. So we start to see those, the energy prices start to climb up again. We already know what that leads to. Yeah. So have I done a good job in making this stuff as clear as possible to you guys? If so, please let me know. Yeah, I know I always say if there's something that's not clear, like ask the question because there's no such thing as a stupid question. Stupidest thing to do is not ask the question, right? So yeah, everything clear? All right, cool, perfect. In fact, you know what? I want to make sure everyone's awake right now. Let me see your favorite emoji in the chat if everything up to this point is clear. Yeah, how do I think it would impact EU and GU? We're about to get into that right now, my brother. You are fire. I am trying, my brother, man. Come on, man. I'm so fire. I need to sip on some water real quick. Do you get me? So, right. Um, okay, so let's talk about some technicals now, shall we? Well, actually, sorry, before we do that, last thing that we need to go through is what's going on next week. So next week, I think we're a little bit lighter. Yeah, we are. So we've got Donald Trump talking on Wednesday. We've got unemployment claims on Thursday. Again, usually isn't going to be that directional bias setting unless it's a mad reading. Do you get what I'm saying? Obviously, the last reading was obviously, 227 to 206. Not the maddest reading, but it supports the narrative with obviously the strength in the labor markets that we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks, right? So we've got that, and then obviously we've got PPI on Friday. I'm not going to be active on Friday. I know that much because Friday is the birthday of the latest guy in Southeast London. No, I'm joking, but yeah, what's what's it called? Yeah, so my birthday's on Friday, so I won't be too active on that day. I'm not too sure, by the way, separately, separate note, if I'm going to be hosting Sunday's call just yet. I'm not too sure yet because I don't know. I think family might have got some plan for me or something. Whose birthday? Nah, I said Sadiq. Nah, that's your boy right here. I am Sadiq Khan and I'm Boris Johnson. Do you get it? And I'm Andres Iniesta as well in my spare time. But what's it called? Yeah. So obviously, yeah, PPI we've got on Friday, which will also be interesting as well because if that continues to climb up, then again, like it's just further. Bro, all I want to see, just give me further. like fuel onto this bullish dollar fire that we're seeing right now and this bearish indices fire, so I can be a bit more um confident with what's going on, and obviously with that expend a bit more risk, um so yeah. So yeah, what's it called? And also we've got this week, so what I also want to look at is we've got I know we've got some earnings reports. We go to earnings hub. Earnings hub, I think we've got, it's not Amazon. Nvidia, that's it. We've got Nvidia reporting the earnings, which is obviously pretty fucking big, right? Why do I say that? If we just go over to the trading view, stock, heat map, right? No, I was trying to go on the heat map, but yeah. Um, right. So stock heat map, Nvidia, right? If we go to the big three for a minute, or S&P 500, we want to pay attention to the weighting in these indices, right? So Nvidia has obviously got a pretty large weighting on the S&P 500. And for anyone that doesn't know, S&P 500 is the 500 of the largest companies in the US, right? All into, bundled up into one little one basket that we call the S&P 500. Yeah. And then obviously, if we look at Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is obviously, US 30, which is the top 30 companies in the US, we can see Nvidia is obviously covering a pretty large surface area of that, right? And obviously, last but not least, if we look at the NASDAQ, which is top 100 tech companies in the US, am I blind or something? What's okay? Here we go. We can see Nvidia also covers a pretty large portion of that as well. So if Nvidia's earnings is good, then it could drag these things, drag all three indices up. If it's bad, which I kind of want to see, I won't lie to you, right? It can just further aid our bearish narrative on indices, right? So got to shoot watch recording. Yeah, no problem, my bro. Tom, big up yourself, yeah. I'll send this recording once once it's done. So yeah, but obviously the fact that we've got Nvidia reporting its earnings on Wednesday after market close will be after 9 p.m. UK time. It's pretty interesting. We've got who else? We've got Domino's. It's not that crazy. I prefer Papa John's to be honest. Dudum. But yeah, we've got some earnings this week. So I'll be paying attention to the earnings as well. But yeah, video is going to be the highlight of this week for me personally, because obviously it's one of the large companies in America right now. So yeah, come on, man. Papa John's all the way, bro. Pizza Hut is just a joke thing as well, but boy, that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, so video come out on Wednesday. Bear it. Like if the earnings are lower, then yeah, it's gonna be pretty bearish for US indices, right? So last thing I need to check is the COT reports. Um, I just want to see what's going on with the dollar. Okay, so dollar. We're seeing less shorts and we're seeing more shorts being taken away, which means that we've got more longs. So again, it's kind of just it's just further aiding this bullish narrative on the dollar right now, which is interesting. So yeah, real pizza company, if you know, you know. Just, bro, it's Pizza Hut. They fell off, man. I can't lie to you. They used to be lit. They used to be lit, but I don't know, man. Yeah, Domino's. I think it's Papa John's, Domino's, Pizza Hut, and then there obviously everything else. But some of these little like other pizza shops though, some of them are beating like Domino's and Pizza Hut, and maybe in Papa John's as well. There's one. Yeah, bro, we can talk all day about food, man. I'm starting to be able to eat a bit more, like introduce more foods as well. So we're getting there. We're getting there, man. We're getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, so we're seeing more longs being added. Um, not being added, sorry. We're seeing more longs than shorts right now, and we're seeing more shorts being taken off from the non-commercial players or the big boys, right? The institutions, the big behemoths, if you will, right? So if that's the case, again, it's just further aiding the bullish narrative on the dollar. So, and by the way, Aaron, I haven't forgot about your question, my bro. I haven't forgotten. We're gonna get into that right now. So, and I haven't really adjusted much of my charts from this week, sorry. So, you guys will be able to see how I kind of tackle all of the stuff live, right? As I do usually week to week. So, what's going on with the dollar? So fundamentally, I want to be buying the dollar. So, so. What I'm going to be looking at now, we've created a new reaccumulation, which we confirmed on Thursday. Now, we've obviously come into the reload and we've reacted. So I don't know if we're just going to continue going higher from here. What did we do down here? Let's go to the 5 minute. Did we get an accumulation down here? Mm, this what is this? What is this? Horrible. So it's not valid. I know that much. It's not valid. Why is it not valid? I mean, we've got you got one, your previous retracement, you got one, you got two, you got three, but there's no manipulation. So it's like, okay, there's not really much there. So for me, bro, this chair is so comfy. I bought myself a new office chair, and I won't lie to you, one of the best investments I made this month so far. It's ergonomic, it's got a little lumbar support, little headrest. Do you know what I mean? It's delicious. But yeah, so we've reacted out of here. I wouldn't be surprised. I would like to see us come a bit lower into this POI. Okay, guys, I've got some questions for me. Uh, what's the shorts long reports? Hold on, let me, bro. What's the shorts longs report site called? Oh, trading stuff. Trading stuff. That one, my bro. Um, yeah, trading stuff. Trading stuff. Oh, shout out Ibs. I didn't even see you put on there, my bro. Yeah, armchair been killing my love. Yeah, bro. Chairs and bit like I even did some pillow shopping. I got some very, very high quality pillows. Um, like mattresses, like pillows, chairs, all that stuff. Invest in that, man, and books as well. Or everything, really, like everything that's important to your health. Just do it, man. Um, but yeah, for me, I don't really. We can go higher from here. I would prefer to see price make its way down into here. That would be very, 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 very nice. Obviously we don't trade Monday, so it's kind of just gonna fall to what could potentially happen on Monday. If we can come lower, like if we end up breaking this, then yeah, I want to see price coming to the 50 personally. But then at that point, it's like, okay, great. We can have price make its way down here. Give me the accumulation. Yeah, man. I'll be very happy to play EU and GU cells off of that personally, you know. Now if we do go higher from here, uh would you take less risk off a schematic out of the higher and lower probable POI or risk the same as it's still a decent zone? Yeah, so for me, bro, do you know what it is? It really just depends, bro. Because it's like if there's reason for price to come lower, like for example, if we've got imbalance, oftentimes we can see price, visit these levels. So I'll probably go a little bit less risk up here, unless I don't know. If I'm gonna take it off the accumulation, then I'll probably reduce the risk. If I'm going off the reaccum, then I've got a little bit more confidence because it's like, okay, we've accumulated and reaccumulated, then it's clean. Yeah, great. Okay, then sign me up. I'll probably expend a little bit more risk on it. But just to go off the accumulation of here, I probably would lower the risk if I'm being honest. Um, yeah, that's an issue I'm having with futures. The risk management is a pain with it. Yeah, with the contracts, bro. Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right, bro. Because you can't go off like you can't do like, for example, if you're trading EU and you've got, I don't know, five, like you only got 0.5 on there, you can take like 0.2 whatever off, for example. Do you get what I'm saying? But with contract, you can't really do that, which is a bit annoying. Um, so yeah, but if we do go higher from here, I just don't really like this. So what I'd need to see, we have the distro up here. We've got an ugly accumulation down here. So if we don't end up coming lower and we end up doing something like this, and then coming in and then giving a little something like this, then yeah. Probably just play that instead, you know? Um, but that's not like something's burning. That's not in here. My wife's making something. But what's it called? Yeah, so I'll play one of these two, which means, right, on EU and GU, obviously we know that, they trade inversely to what the dollar's doing. So we just flip this upside down. We're going to see something similar to this on obviously on EU and GU, right? So I just flip that back around. If we look at pound first, 6B, which is just pound futures, which is exactly the same as GU, it's just a more accurate version. Because it's the raw data on just the pound rather than, broker's version of it. So we are currently, let me zoom out real quick. Okay, so reckon how we'll come back into this. But if the dollar still does go higher off that, then we're probably going to see we'll probably end up seeing that's basically price reacted out of it basically, which or did we break the high? I don't think we did break the high. We did not. Okay. So essentially we probably need to see something like this. Depending again, it really just depends on what the dollar wants to do. Because if it's going to go from where it is now, then we probably just see something like this, you know. But if we do get that deeper retracement lower into the 1580 on dollar, then we'll see this thing climb higher, most likely up into maybe somewhere like, I don't know, somewhere up here. So let me just get rid of all of this for a minute. Okay. So yeah, most likely up into somewhere like up here. Something like that. So yeah, I prefer to see the deeper retracement, but again, we kind of just got to play what price is giving us, as the market doesn't really care about what we want to see. So yeah. So that's pound. That is pound. Well, let me have a look at what's going on here for a minute. On the weekly. Yeah, because we're sitting in this right now as well. Sitting in the 80 right now. So price can definitely make its way lower. We just need to see that strength on the dollar because the dollar, we just go back to the dollar very quickly, doing something very similar. We're just accumulating out of previous re-accumulation. You know, we just remove drawings for a minute. Notice how we've come into 50% of this previous re-accumulation. We obviously started to accumulate, and obviously we potentially could see our way higher if we continue seeing, inflation and everything start to bubble or continue to bubble up, should I say. So yeah, for me, I'm going to be waiting for one of those two things. Let me just quickly go back to pound. There we go. So yeah, on the pound, ladies and gents, I want to see price make its way lower. And again, like we do have this down here. So hold on, do we have something similar on the dollar? Got this. If we break, yeah, I'll rather just wait. I'd rather just wait. Yeah, I'm gonna wait personally. So I'd like to see price break this low, come back up, give me the re distro, um, and then come back up into this and give me the distro from here on lower time frame. If we can see the same on dollar, if we don't, then yeah, we'll probably end up getting that deeper retracement on the dollar, which I'll prefer because it just means better risk rewards, and better risk rewards means more bread, right? So bear that in mind. Has anyone got any questions on this, ladies and gents? Anyone got any type of questions? Oh, I forgot to draw this bit, didn't I? Yeah, has anyone got any questions? If not, then we can move on to the euro. So maybe we can get something like that if we do get the deeper retracement. Something like this. Thank you. Yeah, no problem, my bro. Got you, man. Okay, let me quickly go through the uh hold on. Sorry guys, I didn't even see your questions. Um indices, getting down to the what's that thing? If you're asking about any tips, was you asking me or was you asking Jay, my bro? Let me know. Um indices, I think arguably like that when only taking efforts on CFDs, getting down to the seconds on futures really throwed me off. I mean, for me, getting down to the seconds on futures really thrown me off. Um, I'll probably say one or two things. Either one, practice it more on a demo until you get your skill set up, like doing that a little bit better, then bring it to your live accounts. Or the second option, maybe just stick to the minutes, worst case, but just only do that if you're happy with the lower, like not lower, but like what's the word? The lower risk to rewards that you get from the minutes, as opposed like in comparison to the seconds, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean, my bro? You know, um, yeah, I was asking you, bro, any tips of risk management which would help on futures? Yeah, at the moment, stay away from forex on futures, and then if you're happy with seconds. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, bro, that's those two things are probably the only two things I can really recommend. Because I know for me, bro, if I'm struggling with something, the first thing I want to do is okay, is this something that if I don't get it right or if I don't knuckle down on, it's going to affect my trading furthermore? If the answer is no, I might just decide, okay, like I'll just stick with what I'm doing. If it is something that I think, okay, cool, like this is going to prohibit my growth moving forward, then I'll get down to learning it and I'll learn it and practice it on my demo and I'll make sure that what's the word? I'm adept with it. And then I'll bring it over to my live account with the new understanding that I've gathered. Do you know what I mean? Um, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but it's usually the boring stuff that works, my bro. Does that make sense? You know? Um, yeah, I hope that makes sense, my bro. Yeah, I might start a new practice account just on and see how it goes, bro. I would recommend that, bro. Like just practice everything new that you want to introduce. Practice it off of a live account first. Get it right, get it right, get it right, and then bring it because you don't want to be like practicing on your live account unless you're really, 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 really bringing down the risk. But at that point, it's like you might as well just do it on the demo anyway. Do you know what I mean? You know? But yeah, Euro. So I always forget 6E, innit? Yeah, it's 6E. Um, so on here, ew, for dare I say it, Euro looks a bit cleaner than the pound right now. Why is it not letting me delete this? Yeah, Euro looks a little bit cleaner right now. That's why it's been so dry. I just until now getting back to yeah, bro. I can't lie. I haven't cut out like currencies and that, bro. I'll be real, man. I'll be real currencies, like just yeah, just for me, it's indices, man. I won't lie to you. Indices, I've just been sticking with them. I won't lie. Um, yeah, you know what? I'll be real. I would like to see the euro come up a little higher, or or give me the redistro. But I'd much prefer. Did we take this out? I don't think we have now. So I prefer to see price make its way up here, ideally. Um, yeah, I prefer to see that. The hell? Oh, um, so yeah, either that or if the dollar's going to give that deeper retracement, then yeah, obviously bun bun that. So yeah, it's all going to be really pretty, reliant on what the dollar does. If I'm being honest with you guys, are we going to get that deeper retracement? I hope we do, but obviously we have to just kind of wait and see. So so yeah, but I'm definitely a seller on these. It's just a matter of when, until we get more data to tell me otherwise. Yeah. Anyone got any other questions on that, ladies and gents? If not, then we can move on to the big boys. The big boys. Even though they were looking ugly to me on Friday, man. I can't lie. Thank you. No problem, my bro. Got you, man, each and every time. Each and every time. One thing I do want to very double check actually. Okay, yeah, so we didn't even break that high. So if we do continue to see strength on the dollar to the upside, we could we could if we do see this break, but then at that point it's like rather just wait for the low to get broken, you know, something like this maybe. But again, like I was saying earlier, I'd rather wait for the low to get broken and just give me the redistro. At least it's a bit cleaner. Do you know what I mean? Rather than like trying to squeeze into something that's like less clean, you know. So put a circle in here. All right, cool. So next, indices. Oh, this is what I was mentioning earlier. With the yields, we're starting to see the yields like start to shape up to be a bit more bullish right now. I won't even lie to you guys. Um, where was I at? Yeah, on the weekly. We've obviously, yeah, we're technically well no, because this was the previous supply, and we've broken that. We've been reaccumulating, coming to the 80. And obviously it looks like we're obviously on the other, so this is on obviously the 5-year yields, but on the other two, we've actually broken this high, right? If we look at it's April, yeah, 22nd of April, we've obviously broken this high after reacting to the 50% of the previous reaccumulation. So we've broken this high on here on the 10-year yields. And then obviously, if we, well, hold on. So we came into the 50% of this previous reaccumulation, pretty damn clean as well. And then what was it, 22nd? Yeah, we've obviously broken on here as well. So I'm pretty like we're seeing a lot more strength on the um on the yields. And obviously for those of you that don't know, the yields are obviously attached to the interest rates, right? So if the yields are going up, right? When I say attached, they're correlated, if you will, right? But if we're seeing that the yields are going higher, it's literally like telling us, okay, cool, um there's like strength is starting to come into the pound. Does that make sense? Into the pound, into the dollar, sorry. I don't know where I got pound from. So the fact that we're seeing yields start to climb higher as well is a good sign for the bullish narrative on the dollar. Um, so yeah, it's looking pretty good, man. I can't lie to you guys. It's starting to shape up pretty nicely. All we need to see now, just continue giving us those higher inflation readings, and we're good to go, man. To be honest. So, indices. So, what has been going on here? Okay, so US 30, US 30. So, if I'm going to be selling anything, I prefer to sell US 30 or I prefer to sell ES. So, what happened in here? Did we break this low? We did break this low. What have we done? Ended up breaking this. We ended up breaking this. I'm guessing there would have been some shorts from inside of here. I'm guessing this is probably where someone mentioned that Kieran caught some shorts on Thursday or Friday, I think it was. Maybe that might have been where it was from. But what I would like to see now, what I'd like to see now is if we can come into if we can come into here, right? So I'm looking at it as one of two ways. If we can come into here and give a clean distro, and we see weakness on the NAS, then I might make that might make me want to start looking at some sells. Um, or we can just break this low and give us that redistro, and I think that will be a bit more cleaner. Um, but if we do not on Tuesday, if we are still in here, we get something like this. Again, I'm not solidifying this just yet because I want to see what the other two are doing as well. But roughly, it's kind of what I'm looking at on US 30 right now. We turn this brightness down. Jesus. It's burning my eye sockets, bro. Uh, there we go. So yeah, we can get a distro up here, and potentially, yeah, we might be able to get some sales. But again, it's just about whether we are in here on Tuesday, because we might see the weakness on Monday and get us, to break these lows. Then potentially, yeah, I can start looking at some, some lower targets on these things. But I know that Nas is leading ahead of US 30. I know that much. Um, we just haven't broken. Yeah, I don't know, man. With these, I'd like to see. Okay, first of all, so have we broken this high? We have broken the high. We have broken it. And I'm on the side of sellers because PCs come out lower and inflation is bubbling up, and the unemployment numbers are also starting to go down, which tells me that we're seeing some strength in the labor. We're still continuing to see strength in the labor data. So maybe we can get something like this. Then that will be delicious. Something like this would be nice. Obviously, the safest play would be to see this low get broken, or even this low would be great. But obviously, if we can get something like this, then that will also be pretty nice as well. So yeah, I need to start seeing weakness on these indices. I'm definitely not trying to buy it right now. I know that much. So if I don't see weakness on these things, I'm not going to trade them until I do. I'll be honest with you guys. Um, actually, bars, bro. Honestly, man, it's horrendous work. Horrendous. So yeah, the way UK 100 is looking though, got me side-eyeing that Jordan right now. Can't lie to you. Uh Now we had a distro here, obviously broke this, so we could even come up into here and get some shorts. Um, or maybe we come in, get the shorts. Do not running out of space and do it over here. I can move those over actually. So maybe we come into here, maybe give something like this, and maybe we re-distro and then give something like that, maybe. So let's move these over. Get some get some organization going on right now. Uh, okay, that works. So yeah, either we break this low now that we've obviously broken this high, got a new reaccumulation on the hands. So either we break this low and play the distro off that, or we break this low, which would obviously lead us to breaking this low anyway. So ideally, yeah, when we see this low get broken, then I'll start looking at some sells if price can retrace back onto the 50 and 80. Yes, strikes me as if a yes will just be exactly the same, I'll be honest. Mm, we continue seeing strength. Yeah, hopefully we can come up in here. So just wherever I start to see sellers start to step in, then I'll start. I'll start to zone in on that area and start to look at sells. But right now, I just like Jay said, just bars right now, bro. I won't ever lie to you guys. You know, what's going on here? We break the high. We did break the high. So yeah, same thing, man. Same thing. I can't even lie to you guys. Right now, It's not really looking too it's not really looking too delicious right now. Um, we came into here, gave the distro. Yeah, I just need to see weakness, man. Give me the weakness, bro. Don't know why this thing's behaving stubborn right now. Just give it. Just give it. Nate, I really need to go. I'll watch and later on. What is your Telegram username? Oh yes, it is. Let me find my phone. It is. My username is here we go. It is uh the lit. There we go, my bro. That's the one. Yeah. Um, right. When you see that selling strength, would you drop to a low time frame to see that? Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So when I see the when I see yeah, bro, I'll put it. I can put it in the group, the master coin group. I can do that. That's not a problem, my bro. But if you do message me, I can send it to you as well. That's not an issue. Yeah, when I do see the weakness, and by the way, let me just clarify what I mean by weakness as well. I want to see price break this low. So we can break this, and we start to see, volume telling me, okay, cool, we're seeing, if I see weakness and we see volume, great. That tells me, okay, cool, we can break this low. Fantastic. So when I see that weakness and then we come into here, 50-80, then I'll come down to a lower time frame. Does that make sense, my bro? Yeah, because when I see that, then we can start having a look. But up until that point, I don't really want to be selling when I'm not 100% sure that sellers are stepping in. Because yeah, we know how that story ends already, you know. Um, Dow looks cleanest for shorts. Looks like it's printing a massive distro, just needs the weakness really. On Dow, you said, yeah. Uh yeah. So on like on this, so you mean like when you say the massive distro, you mean like that where you've got your trading range, shakeout, something like that? Is that how you're looking at it, my bro? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, 100, my bro. What if you see evidence of buyers accumulating, reaccumulating, still not going to buy it because of economic reasons? Well, I mean, yeah, I think I'll play the market cycle lower time frame. Obviously, we have got Nvidia reporting the earnings. If it comes out, obviously, higher, then I guess that will, and we're seeing strength. Lower time frame for scalps, I might adjust, but right now, yeah, it would need to be very, 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 very clean to me. If not, I think I'll leave it alone. Because you've got more reason. Like right now, we've got more reason to sell. Why? Because obviously inflation. Obviously, they're not cutting the rates anymore. So usually, if they were hiking the rates, then yeah, okay, cool. It means okay, I'm gonna start looking to put some buys, looking to buy the indices. But because we're not seeing that right now, it's just like, bro, I've got more reasons to sell than I have to buy. Do you know what I mean? We've seen like even Amazon recently, their earnings were weak as well. And we've been seeing like weaker earnings across some of the larger companies as well. So just like, I've just got more reasons to sell it more than I've got to buy it. So it needs to be super clean in order for me to yeah, for like blue, yeah, exactly, like the scalps and that. And even then I'm gonna be like a little bit like side eyeing it a little. Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah, I think this is how I'm gonna play YM. Nas, this is how I'm gonna play. ES, I mean it looks pretty much the same as um as Nas, to be honest. I just need to see that weakness, break the slow, come back up, give me a little give me a little where's my where's my arrow? Yeah, so now we've broken this high, a break. You give me, oh, I've already drawn on here anyway. But yeah, break, give me that distro, and yeah, I'll start to have a look at taking some sells. But until I see that, I'm just not even interested, I'll be honest. You know? Um, Same with Russell, even though I don't really look at Russell like that, I'll be honest. Unless anyone wants me to look at it, then I can, but yeah. UK 100. I'll be honest, I'm just gonna keep playing the bash, I think that's the wisest thing to do right now. Let me get rid of this. I already back tested this now. Uh, yeah, so now, I mean, okay, so we've come into, let me get rid of that box. Come into this, we've broken, had that delicious buy in here. Um, okay, so what I'm kind of gonna want to see now, or we've got this reaccum in here. Ooh, okay, this is late in the day anyway. It's interesting how it came back to the 50-80 though, right? So I had to go higher. But for me now, if I'm gonna try and, keep buying this thing up to take out this high, then obviously my most previous reaccumulation is going to be in here. So obviously I don't trade Monday. So obviously if it happens on Monday, then unfortunately I'm gonna have to left that alone. But putting a lot on here. Um, you know what? Recently, I think I was saying this even last call. Recently, I've been instead of that the clear box, I've been just putting a gray zone here. I don't know why. I feel like it's a bit more helpful to me. I think I'm gonna start doing that more. But yeah, so we can see price make its way into this. Take my buys off that. Try and hold up to these. Not try. I want to hold up to these highs. Um, then yeah, outside of that, I don't really think there's much else I'm really going to be looking at, unless there's anything that you guys want me to look at. The pros and cons, thanks for the explanation. Yeah, my bro, got you, man. Got you, my brother. Yeah, unless there's anything else that you guys want me to look at. If there is, please feel free to let me know. AU, AUDUSD, yeah. I can't even lie. What yeah, potential penny reaccumulation for a buy? Yes, please, no problem, bro. I haven't looked at AU in ages. That's actually the currency pair I caught my highest risk to reward on is a 1 to 107, which is pretty nasty. Uh, ADUSD. I haven't looked at this thing in a little minute, man. I kind of just relinquished relinquished all of my what's it called? All of my back tested at 1 to 25. Ooh, nastiness. Okay, so what I don't even know what's going on with the economy right now. What's going on with China? Um, China. Don't know why that's on there. China. Yeah, 'cause I have no clue what's going on with China's economy. Let me ask ChatGPT. What's happening with China's economy recently? If anyone knows anything that I don't know right now, then please let me know. As soon as I relinquished currency pairs, I was like, yeah, you know what? I kind of just stopped looking at all of it. It's slowing compared to the past decade, so 4.5%. Cool. Uh, Decelerating growth. Okay, so across the board, the long downturn, consumer spending growth is weak. Okay, deflationary pressures. So overall, it's looking pretty damn weak. What's going on with the CNY? It's a long prime rate, isn't it? Mm, I think it just means steady, bro. What's going on with the inflation? Mm, CPI, yeah. This thing's going down as well. Okay, so China's economy is weak, meaning they're not doing a lot of um import, like they're not doing a lot of export from Australia and New Zealand right now, which would mean fundamentally you probably want to look at sales on this more than anything. Probably want to look at sales more on this. Okay, hold on. So we've come into okay. Okay, hold on a second. So we've broken this now. Mm, broken this now. Came into the reload. So hold on. Okay. So we've come into the reload. That's the first thing. And this was what was responsible for breaking this low. We've come into the 80%, which is interesting. Okay, so when we came into the 80%, what did we do? 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 We distroed up here. You got uh, distro. Where's my distro? Oh, here we go. So you got distro. You've got your redistro. You've got your redistro here. So accumulate. We've accumulated here. So hold on, redistro. Then we accumulated to bring price back up. Have we broken this high just yet? It doesn't look like we have. We haven't. Okay. So what's going on here? What's going on in here? Did we break this high? Ooh, we did. Hello. 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 So hold on. Let me come down to the lower time frame. Let's see what's going on lower time frame. There's my previous reaccumulation. It would have been this up here. So that's my previous reaccumulation, and we've broken that with this distro up here. So you've got cause and effect. Ooh, ooh, hold on. Ooh, 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 ooh. You guys seeing what I'm seeing? Shake out. Oof, it's gonna be the target on that. Ugh, yeah. Hold on a minute. Ugh, hold on a minute. Wait a second now. I might have to have a little alert in here. Coming like 2024 August 1 to 107. I might have to run that back though. Um, hold on. Hold on a minute. Hold on, ready for USD rules to come in now. The change are absolutely shanking. Yeah, bro. Shanking is a crazy craziness. I may as well look at NU now. See, I might have to now. I might just have to. Ugh, what's the oh yuck. Hold on. So this is on wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, bro. Someone might have to make me a sound on social media with all of these sound effects, bro. Hold on. All right, cool, 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 cool. So make our way up here. Maybe we get a little dirty distro. Oh yeah. It's looking all right. Yeah, you know what? I'll keep a little alert on there. I'll keep a little alert on there. You know, I don't really like currencies anymore, but I might just for the risk to reward. Do you know what I mean? Looking a bit nasty right now. Uh yeah, that's looking a little nasty right now. Ugh. Yeah, what, Aaron? Thank you very much, my bro. I might have to keep my eye on this now. Might have to keep my eye on this now. All right, cool. Someone wanted me to look at NU as well. All right. Yeah, it's getting greedy, bro. What do you mean? No problem. I saw a buyout to wherever. Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I might have to put you on a little standing order. Yeah, send a little something to Aaron. Every time I take partials off that, you know? All right, let's look at NU. Ooh, yeah, that looks not too bad. NZD. I know I said I'm not really too hot on currencies, but yeah, you might be changing my mind right now. Um, okay, so hold on. Let me go back to AU real quick because when was that load that got broken? AUD USD. Where was that load that got broken? That was what? 10th of Feb. 10th of Feb. 10th of Feb. 10th of Feb. So, 10th. The hell? The hell is this? A little nasty. Okay, hold on. 10th of Feb. 10th of Feb. 10th of Feb. Don't know what the hell this is. What the hell is this? All right. Okay. Hold on. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let me get somewhere. So let me just zoom out real quick, make sure I haven't missed anything. I'm stuck between whether to play PlayStation or watch a film tonight. Just randomly popped into my head. Um, yeah, so we've got Jesus. So no, that's my target. No, that's my target right there. So that's my target. Let me put this underneath. Bottom. Uh, okay. So this is But I don't even know when I marked this up. Jesus Christ, ages ago. Um, Probably would have been actually Hannah when we was on a one-to-one a little while back. I think I went through that. I don't know if Hannah's still on here. Oh, Hannah is on here. Yeah, that was probably that. Yeah, so Hannah, that was the last time I marked up. And yeah, I don't even remember when that was. That wasn't this year, surely. Couldn't have been this year. Ford versus Ferrari. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Gotta make sure. Gotta make some Nando style grilled chicken. All right, save some for me, my brother. Yeah, no, not this year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was. Yeah, because I did that one to one with you when I was on Zoom when I was in the car, and I remember. Um, okay, yeah. So that's the last three distro. That's the so we've broken this low. We have. We just haven't broken this low. Move that a bit lower. Um, ooh, okay. So that's the reload. That's my reload. No, we're at the 50 of it, right? Oh, we've reacted from the 50 of it rather. Okay, hold on. Hold on a minute. So now it's getting a little interesting. It's getting a little interesting right now. Okay, hold on. So 5th of Feb, but on we've already broken. When was it? What 10th of Feb? We've already broken this then, I think, if I'm not mistaken. The 5th, yeah, 10th of Feb came after 5th, and this has already been broken. So this is broken then technically. So this has been broken. And AUD is the one that is leading out of the two. I'll put AUD. So I'll put AU. Bro, I might have to double check that though. Well, not might. I'm going to double check it. Let me double check that now. The USD. Oh, that. Oh, hold on. Mm, the USD. No, that's not what I was trying to do. Here we go. Instead, the USD. Mm, Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. That is the low. So NU's. Ah, okay. So neither of them broken. So somewhere up here. Up there. Okay. All right. 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 Hold on a minute. So this hasn't been broken. This is the 5th of Feb. 5th of Feb hasn't been broken on here. So that was the one that we broke. Okay, hold on. Um, Working 20 minutes. Well, go. Nah, big up, man. Big up. Big up. You have a good one. What's the reason you looked at China economy? We're looking at AU. Yeah, so because Australian dollar and so Australia and New Zealand, um, China are their biggest exporters, or one of their biggest exporters, right? So they buy a lot from Australia and from New Zealand. So if that's the case, if China's got money, then they're gonna obviously pump money into Australia and New Zealand. If they haven't got money, if their economy is not the greatest, which it isn't at the moment, then they're going to export less from there, which would mean that less money is going into them, which means obviously you'll be their um currency, like their economy will be weaker as well because they're not getting that stimulus from China. So I hope that makes sense, my brother. Uh, okay. Yeah. So what I'm trying to figure out, maybe I think it's confusing me right now. Because on here, we've broken. What I want to see is can I make it not lines and make it candlesticks? That's what I want to see. I don't know how to do that on here. Uh, okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Um, because on here, AU. Oh no, sorry, it was AU that. Okay, right. Sorry, I'm being a donut in it. So we've broken that. So that was all not broken. And obviously, okay, cool. All right, makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, we're clear now. Clear now. We're clear now. Okay, sick. So going back to NU. So and this was definitely yeah 10th of Feb. So going back to N Z D USD. It's a DUSD and the DUSD. So we're broken. Okay. All right, makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, okay. I see. 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 Okay, cool. So yeah, for me, I'd need to see. I would need to see that, that, and then this. And if we don't, then I'll just play the redistro after that. Yeah. So yeah, got there in the end, didn't it? So yeah, man. But yeah, ladies, gents, anything else you guys, any questions you guys got for me? Anything else you want me to touch on? Yeah, so when you're adding it in, it's a new pane, I think. Oh, that was why. Okay, makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for going for AU. Yeah, no problem, my bro. Yeah, so just a quick one, bro. See if backtesting, uh, yeah, see if backtesting training. I should use last year's price action just because it's clearer. To be honest, bro, it doesn't really matter, you know. Like for example, the one do you know what? I'm actually gonna send it to you guys right now. I'm gonna send it to you guys right now. I'll put it in the thing so you guys can see it. But like with the UK 100 one that I back tested, that was this year. Do you know what I mean? But I've also got a bunch of stuff that I back tested from last year. Do you get where I'm coming from? So ti when the price action is, it doesn't really matter so much. Um, it's just more, what's it called? It's just more, is it meeting the plan? Do you get where I'm coming from? Yeah, so that was the back test. Now I just put it in there and I'll send it to you. Oh, I sent it to the guys in the bedroom already. But yeah, I hope that makes sense, my bro. Yeah, yeah. So you can do it this year, next year, or not next year, sorry, this year, last year. Um, so yeah. Any other questions, ladies and gents? I know it's a little bit of a longer one than usual. Jesus, we've gone for almost 2 hours, an hour and 40 minutes, something like that. But I'm glad that you guys have got some value. Uh yeah. Any other questions, ladies and gents? If not, then I've got some rice and some chicken that I've got that I'm going to devour right now. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, man, what's it called? Before I let you guys go, you guys know what I need. Let me get you guys' favorite emoji in the chat right now. Let me get your favorite emoji, favorite. If you got value tonight, let me get your favorite emoji in the chat right now. If you got some value tonight. All right, we're getting it. We're getting it. We're getting it. Okay, solid. All right. So guys, appreciate you guys. I've been Mr. Keep Your Head on That Bread. You guys have been amazing as per usual. I will send you guys all the recording when it's up, like when it's loaded on my laptop, and then yeah, we can take it from there, ladies and gents. Big up everyone. Remember to obviously, have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your week, and most importantly, remember to keep your heads on that bread. I'll see you guys soon, yeah. Take care.